almost done. Hey, good evening, everybody. Here we are. It is Wednesday night. It's time for our live talk forum with me, Lynn Rene MacDonald. What a crazy day it's been. It's par for the course in these times, as we always say. Crazy stuff happening. So we are doing our show about an hour late, as we have said. Hopefully everybody's still going to be awake and come here onto the show. Usually it takes a few minutes for everybody to come. As you know, we all do our show here on Wednesday nights. It's the Live Talk Forum with Lynn Rene MacDonald. We have a little bit of a live audience with Sophia and Bodie. I got to get it right. I do my best. Right? So, and then we have Jen here with us tonight. Rachel's running a little bit late, as you all know. We had kind of an emergency vet appointment. We've talked a little bit about it in the past. So things are wild, and that's going to be really part of our story time, Nicole Opper, for the show tonight, if you do come on, Nicole, because Nicole likes story time. All right. And story time always have infinite wisdom in it. So we're going to talk about what happened with us, with the veterinarian, with the dog, with the poisonings. It's been on my Facebook page, and what is going on and what is happening, because there's incredible wisdom for this and awesome healing tools for everybody in tonight's show in reference to our pets and what's really going on with our pets, including our own health. So we're going to have a lot of great tools and a lot of great wisdom in this arena as we talk about the whole story of what happened again today. And we're going to talk about the astrology of why this happened, because right now, again, it's a reflective of retrograde planets still being in retrograde. Okay, and so retrograde is revisit. So we will have re-episodes of things happening over again, like bringing your dog to the vet and having to make a choice yet again for like the how many times, depending on how many dogs you have or how many dogs you have in your lifetime, that you've had to make a decision whether you have to help them cross to the rainbow bridge to a different to higher knowing, really, or to love, or to heaven, so to speak, right? So we ran through that gamut today, yet again, had some of the same diagnosis stuff come in, but incredible wisdom, and we had to go through this whole process, and I'm going to share that in a story tonight, as well as I see everybody coming on here. Hey guys, thanks for coming. And I'm also going to share some wisdom that has been happening in our energy sessions, and we're going to talk about mental illness, because this is one of those things that people, don't really understand, and it gets brushed over, and really the doorways and everything. There's so much information out there with all kinds of health and everything. It's hard to understand and know and feel in your heart what is right. That's why, as we always say, talk to God, talk to love, talk to universe. The answer will always come in from love. Okay, so this is how it truly works. This said, we're going to talk about these two things, the story with the vet, as well as the energy work and what has happened with our basically past lives coming out in mental illness in this reality, and why energy work is a massively profound tool, and that the metaphysical is always reflected in the physical, and it's always in the stars, it's always in the astrology, it's always going to be in your chart, and it is always going to be obvious. And in the more you work with God or love, the more easier it will be that you find these answers. Okay, so this said, we're going to talk about these things tonight. As all of you know, our show is on donation. If you can donate, please do. However way that you can donate, whether you share what we do, come to our shopping center, share about our shopping center, share what we do on the show, share the show, or you can donate monetarily, of course, but it's about energy exchange from love. You feel it in your heart, you give back. And this is also how we build a powerful community based in love, where we have tools and gifts to share with each other. Excuse me, and that's how we do it. This said, so that's to let everybody know, if you can donate, please do. Follow your heart, ask universe what it is you should do, and for everybody who does donate in whatever way, in all ways that you do, thank you. Thank you so much to everybody, okay? This said, Jennifer, we're going to move on, and I want to know who's here tonight. Thanks again for coming. Our show is going to run from 8:15 tonight to, what is our usual time? Probably 9:45, I think it is, and then that would be an hour and a half. So that's where we're going to give it our best shot to make that work, if I don't fall asleep here tonight. But the goal is not that. So this is our plan. We're going to do our normal hour and a half show. We're going to answer your questions. We're going to answer your questions from the now, from the past, anything that comes up. We usually answer your questions from the past only if you are here today, right? So we don't get them lost in the 320 other videos that we have on my YouTube, as you know, because you'll never be able to find the question unless you scan through every single one. Basically. So, but you can learn and see the replays on my YouTube. All right. They go back to Gifts and Tools of videos from 2018, possibly even before that, from when we first started on this journey to do the social mediaing and the YouTubing. So we have a YouTube, we have a TikTok where you can see the live oceanfront clips from this past summer where we did the shows, the metaphysical shows basically. So you can see those clips. You can learn from us on YouTube. You can also see the replays of our live talk forums here on Facebook. We try to keep them up here for as long as possible, but we also put them out there on our YouTube. So there's over 320 videos that you guys can all watch. You can share, you can learn from, you can watch again as many times as you like. Again, this is about wisdom. This is about changing the world from love. This is what we do and teach here. We work with astrology. We work with love. We work with God, basically, is what I call it. You can call it whatever you like, as long as you understand that what we're working with is love. It's not about religion. It is about love. It is about the highest form of consciousness. This is what we do and teach here, and this is why we're able to answer your questions, and we teach you the tools on how to do all of this, which is fantastic. And this is what we came in here to do. And why is it fantastic? Because with these tools, darkness can never stop you. The only thing that stops you is you. Crazy shit, right? Yeah, but truth nonetheless. Truth nonetheless. And with the power and tools that we teach here, you have everything. And there's no way you can't make all your dreams happen from love. And that's how it truly works. It might not be in the way that you think, but you will have incredible power, incredible magic, and you will have the most powerful of all of these things from love. And the darkness can never really overtake you. And we've talked about this in the past. I see people coming on. Thanks for coming, everybody. And we're going to move on. With that said, Rachel's not here right now, but she's coming. So Jennifer, can you please tell me who's here?
Yeah, we have Dee, Andrew, Steve.
Hey guys, hey.
Jessie May, Susie Lynn, Lana Short tonight.
Awesome.
Jackie,
Awesome.
Steve, and Greg Halupa, and Nikki.
All right. Hey, thank you guys for coming, everybody. And Greg, I have a story for you about my dog tonight because it's relevant to the issues with your dog. And this is really important for everybody with poisonings, because one of the main things about dogs with poisonings, is seizures and inability to think correctly, almost like an Alzheimer's dementia rather. And so we're going to talk about these things, and I'm going to share with you what's going on with my dog so that everybody can understand, and this may help you have another perspective on your dog's health situation as well, Greg. But I do feel we already covered all of that in our own time and when we've talked about it in the past. But this is great wisdom for everybody, because these times are nuts and they're poisoning us across the board. And this is why this health stuff is so super, 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 super important. And thank you everybody for coming. I am super grateful. Okay, so Jen, do we have any questions from last week? We're going to do this and then we're going to move into our stories.
We have 3 questions from last week, but none of those people are here yet.
Okay.
Before you start story time, though, can you give Jessie May a close-up of your necklace? She loves your necklace today.
Oh, this one? Well, Jessie May, I don't know if I can, but this is, if you can see it, it's got these really cool planets. It's like the whole galaxy. Goes with astrology and tapping in. Kind of like, remember my boots? I have many, many astrology boots, as many of you can see. I got my face painting pants on today, right? Because they're super comfortable. And when I have to take the dog to the vet, I want to be comfortable. So these are my face painting pants. You guys remember these from the oceanfront? These are my astrology boots. I got all my gear. And I got my rings and shit. So Jessie May, this is like a necklace that I put together that's a whole bunch of just different necklaces in my wildness. So we have the necklaces with the planets, and then we have also, this is like 1,000 coins. This is what this one here is about, witchcraft and lifetimes of it. The gifts of 1,000 lifetimes. And when I say witchcraft, meaning which lifetimes practicing and being a witch. Now, as many of you know, there's a lot of dark energy in the world and there's a lot of light energy. And so that doesn't necessarily mean that I am darkness now because of this. This allows me, or gives me the tools. It doesn't allow me to, but these gifts give me the tools or that help me to tap into this energy, so they assist me. Anything I do for my soul and my God connection from love, but these tools give me extra energy, just like rocks, just like stones, extra oil in reference to these areas. These are the gifts and tools that they bring. So this will bring me even more astrology gifts, just like my boots, the planets, the transits, anything I want to know. And this brings me the magic of healers and lifetimes of 1,000 witches, which is really wild. That's what universe told me, 1,000 lifetimes of being a witch. And again, there's white witches, there's all kinds of witches, and we live and learn through lifetimes what is good, what is healthy, and what is not. All right? And so these are all good tools for me in this lifetime. Okay? Just like all the rings and all the stuff that I wear, guided by God, guided by love, in these times. You pick and choose by the energy of your soul what is best for you and the gifts that they bring to the table. And we all think, well, this is so pretty, or I like this jewelry, it makes my fingers look nice, or I think it looks great with my outfit. But that's what most people in human society here in Earth World, right, think, and as the general rule, and that's what we're all taught, as some of the governing energies here in Capricorn's Earth World. But the truth is, there's so much more going on here in all of these things, in our necklaces, in the clothes that we choose to wear, in like how we choose to wear our hair, right? Whether it's wild if we're feeling wild, right? Or whether it's in knot balls when we're all tied up, or whatever the fuck it is, right? But there's energy and messages and everything. So more often than not in Earth World, we think that, well, I need a car to get somewhere, but there's so much more metaphysically going on there. And the same is true with the jewelry, right? The jewelry, the necklaces, the stars, the boots, everything that you wear, everything is energy. Everything about you tells me all about you. Okay? All right. So thanks, Jessie May. I hope you could see it. I know in this darkness, without ripping it off my neck and spending 20 minutes trying to get it off. We just spent 20 minutes trying to get it on. What I'll do is next time on another day, I will put it up here closer. I can send you some pics too if you want to see it. Okay. All right. That said, thanks for asking about it, because it brings in even more wisdom for all of us. And I'm super grateful. All right. And great to see you here. All right. And thank you again, everybody, for coming. Thank you. All right. So, Jen, do we have any questions for this week?
We just have one right now.
Mm-hmm. All right. We'll do this one question, and then we'll start with story time.
Okay. Greg Halupa is asking, what stone or crystal do I need?
All right, Greg, there's a bunch of stones or crystals that, anybody and everybody could need or could use. When you say, do I need for what? What are you looking to do? Right now, what I keep tapping into you is black tourmaline, like EMF and protection from energy. All right, so this is a massive tool. That's the first one that keeps coming into me for you over and over is black tourmaline, black tourmaline, black tourmaline. So if you don't have any of that, I would definitely get it. I feel like you may be on electronics an awful lot, and that's going to help you with that energy. Like today they did that emergency broadcasting thing, and there was a lot of hype and a lot of crazy shit about it. Well, it's just going to be this, but there's all this shit going on behind the scenes. And even whether you understand it or not, the space of God that we're in or not, whatever your belief system is, it's always wiser to come to the show prepared, whatever it is. So black tourmaline is a great way, a great tool to protect yourself from those, cell tower energies and all that shit, that they send out and what's going on in the world. Whether you believe it or not, or don't believe it or not, doesn't really matter. I don't give a fuck what you believe, but I'm just saying, if you ask me for the best stone, this black tourmaline is good for that, and this for everybody across the board. It's going to help you with these crazy 5G energies, and you can look up stuff about how these energies can cause cancer and all this other kinds of sicknesses. And then there's all these conspiracy theories that have been going with this emergency broadcast thing as well. But if you are of the highest consciousness, as I said, and you are super protected, and it all depends on your beliefs, your belief systems, which is why I posted the stuff that I posted on my Facebook page within that, because a lot of people were afraid. They're asking me, they're freaking out. Are we going to be okay? Or what about this? And how do you feel about this? And I don't feel good about it. But the truth is, there's a lot of things going on underneath that broadcasting system message behind the scenes that has a lot to do with darkness. They're not about protecting you. They're not about protecting us. They're not about helping people. They're not. It's look what happened in Hawaii. Look what happened in Ohio. The truth is in the proof of what happens in our reality. So when they say, oh, we're just doing a test and all this shit, you have to look at them kind of like this. You sure about that? You sure about that? Right? And your best deal is, because we live in a world of liars and darkness. And when I say liars, we're talking about toxic energy, narcissistic, toxic, darkness at all different levels, right? This is the world we're living in. Earthworld is specializing in that right now. Sadly but true. That's why we're here, to change it. Okay, but with this energy, we're here to change all of these things. So when people ask me for help and assistance with this FEMA thing or this alarm system, that they had from back in the day that we remember, the broadcasting system, people say, well, I'm afraid, and what about these waves, and they're going to kill us, and it has to do with the shot, and all this crazy shit that's circulating out there, right? Doesn't mean that isn't what they want to do. Doesn't mean that there isn't truth within it. It's just 9 out of 10 times, it's just not in the way that you think that it is. And it is always best to protect yourself with the tools of love and your heart with love. And you create your reality. Because when you are afraid of things, you create at some point in your reality the very things that you don't want to happen. Always. Can't not happen. So when people say, I'm afraid of this, here's the tools. Here's what I get from God. Here's what the truth is. You follow your heart, but prepare. Prepare yourself. Ask God that you're protected. You could use stones like black tourmaline and other great tools of wisdom that you can use, that you may have, that are in your own arsenal from love. Talking to God, praying on it is the most powerful tool of all to protect yourself and your family from love. And you're already automatically protected if you're in this high-end consciousness, or you're in your heart. Always. But for anybody who's afraid, you got to clear that shit out, because that's the stuff that manifests in your reality. And if it doesn't come now, it doesn't mean that this was all a lie or a hoax. It means that you create it through fear, and there's a great propensity for it to come. You see? So that's why I posted this stuff on my Facebook, to tell people, pray on it. Put it out there. Create your reality. Trust the universe, trust God, use the tools that you feel, and clear your fearful blocks, and let go of it, because the truth is, we're going to be fine, no matter what. Okay? And what creates the unwell reality for you is your fear, your darkness, your stuff. Right? Okay, so that's super important for everybody, and that goes with the black tourmaline stone. It is a great stone for protecting you from EMFs and all of that shit. And they also have other different devices, just like they have those packs that you can wrap your cell phone in. You know what I'm talking about? That they sell on the internet. They have packs to wrap your computer in, so people can't find you, and the technology can't find you, and all of this stuff. So there's lots of crazy, really neat, fascinating tools that they have in science and in all that is God. And when you need these things, whatever it is that you need, you ask love, because this is truth of God and love. Ask and you shall receive from love. Clear your blocks. Ask that you're happy no matter what happens. Thanks, love, for that for us. Clear anything that is in the way of that, and thanks, love, for that for us. So simple, so easy, right? All right. Again, the Christ formula. So easy. Ask and you shall receive. All right. That said, so those are great tools. That's what comes in for you right away. Did Greg respond in terms of any particular thing that he's looking for or looking to do? Because different stones have multiple different things that they do, just like black tourmaline. That's one of the things that comes in right now for everybody and Greg in these times, right? But black tourmaline does a lot of other stuff too. All right, go ahead.
He's looking for psychic stuff and healing.
Okay. All right. Psychic stuff, like helping you with your spiritual gifts kind of thing.
As soon as he says, I will let you know.
Yeah, that's what I'm picking up on. Helping you advance your spiritual gifts. And then there's something else that I'm picking up on. Healing for you personally is what I feel like. And the black tourmaline, that's going to help you too. All right, that's going to help for grounding. That's going to help for clearing energies. There's any kind of black stone is going to do that. Black obsidian, snowflake obsidian, those are fantastic stones for healing your stomach. All right, and lots of other healing across the board. Okay, also. And think about that snowflake obsidian. That's snowflake. That's Christmas. That's Christ energy. So, I mean, it's just another message in there from love, which is really cool. Really, really cool. And you see the little snowflakes on there. Everything is coded, so to speak, or everything is energy. And there's messages, infinite messages, and infinite tools of love in everything. Okay, the other thing that I'm picking up on you, Greg, is selenite. A massive healing by working with the angels and through the angels. Selenite. I have many selenite towers here. If I can reach over and get this. This is, so we put all these in the shop, these giant selenite towers, right? I love them. I have even bigger ones all over the place. All right, selenite is the angel stone, really. It calls in the angels. If you think about it, the tower like this reaches up to the heavens. So we put them all over the shop, and when you come in, you feel the energy. It's just incredible, incredible higher vibration. This is going to call in angels to help and assist you, okay? And you can use chunks of it. You can put it around your house, like in a triangle. When I say triangle, I think Father, Son, Holy Spirit, pointing up to the stars, right? Just in all terms of God, right? Also ancient geometric shapes. One of them is a triangle that we work with for the balancing program, okay? So these are all, it's all about healing and whatever your belief systems are in multiple ways. So really what comes in for you is that. Also a protection stone called amethyst. Many people know all about these. Clear quartz crystal and rainbow quartz as well. Lumarian quartz comes in for you as well. Okay, and these are all different stones, and you put them together. They have lots of different gifts, and I would look every single one of these up and find all of their wonderful gifts for you. Okay, because what comes in for you is your greatest psychic abilities are going to come in from you working with the angels. You have such a soft and beautiful heart, but it's been so much of your challenge because you love so hard. Okay, and so the angels are basically telling me, Greg, that they work with you and that you work with them, and so these are fantastic tools to really tap into that energy. So your psychic abilities massively, if you want them, will come from working with the angels naturally. Like they will whisper things in your ears. They will be around you. They will show you visions. They will protect you. Okay, FYI. And your archangel family group is Michael, but you also have energy wrapped up in Gabrielle. And then there is another one, I think Rachel, there's one that Rachel says, it might be, okay, here it is, Metatron as well. So you got a lot of different energies, but your primary soul family is Archangel Michael, just FYI, okay? So this is, again, about higher consciousness. These are about tools that are going to help you. The rainbow quartz comes in for helping you see all the colors in your life. Like the Christmas lights behind me, you look into a piece of rainbow quartz crystal, it's fucking, you see all these rainbows in it and beautiful colors. It's incredible. Really beautiful stuff. I think we have one really amazing piece here. I'm surprised no one's bought it yet because it's such a beautiful piece. But it helps you see the colors in life, helps you have passion, helps you feel all of your emotions, right? Color, what is color? It's all the chakras. It's all the chakras. It's about healing you completely. Then you can come from your heart. You can live in your passion. You can do whatever you feel from love and see and truly live without the burdens that you're living with now. And this is for all of us, this incredible wisdom, right? So rainbow quartz crystal will help you to see that. Lumarian quartz crystal, okay? Lumaria is an ancient civilization based in love, based in the heart, okay? I believe it's in the Pacific coastal region where Atlantis is in the Atlantic, right? Or it is Atlantis, yeah. So we're talking about two different civilizations, ancient civilizations with basically headspace and heart space, which is really the battle of what's going on right now. It is your intuition and your heart wisdom versus your intellect, when it really is about balance from love and wisdom space and not intellect in the way that they think, right? Because the bottom line is wisdom trumps everything. It's always going to be in your heart where the true answer is, okay? Remember that. So these are fantastic tools for everybody in these times. Okay, and then that said, The Lumarian crystal is going to help you get in touch with love and get in touch with your heart, right? With your headspace and your thinking, okay? Super, super important, super, super powerful, so that your thinking is balanced with your heart, because that's really important for you. That's why you have such a challenge sometimes, Greg, comprehending or understanding. And that's why everybody does, right? Because we're trained out here. I remember for years when I was younger, it was smart is the new sexy. Anybody remember that? Oh, it's all about being intelligent. But it is. But it's not about the intelligence they're talking about. It's about the intelligence of the heart. And this intelligence is all intelligence, all encompassing. So it's all of these things from that space. Does everybody understand that? So super powerful stuff. That's what the Lumarians did. Okay? But there's things that we can get into, toxic indulgences as well. And that's a lot of what's happening in the world today in terms of, when we think about toxic indulgences, we think of Hollywood, gross, abundance, right? So I do feel there were problems in Lemuria, as like it says, like we were talking about the esoteric healing book, and she talks about that, how these people were so in their hearts, but there were deficits in those spaces as well. But it's really because they weren't aligned with the purest form of love, and in constantly doing their work, or they would get in these spaces of their own excuse me, darknesses, as all souls do, as all journey. We all have all these journeys, or all journeying in this lifetime. So when we get into these dark places, it's about clearing those things out, and they go away. But as a general rule, in the consciousness of those times, this is what would happen, right? There's going to be deficits from thinking in your headspace all the time as opposed to your heart. And then there's going to be deficits in everything, all that is God, until we all do the work, all right? And sometimes, like to give you an example of what I'm talking about, Cancerians or Cancer energy in the astrology, one of their biggest issues is that they love so hard and so powerfully and so much that they can't fucking let go of it, and it becomes toxic to them. I pine, I long, I wish for this, and if it could only be like this, and it could only be in the past, and then I'm living in the past, and it becomes toxic to me because I can never fucking move forward. And I need to heal those spaces as well. And we wouldn't normally, in our human spaces, see that as a problem. And a lot of times in our spiritual spaces, in the journey that we're on. Does this make sense to everybody? Yeah, so that is like, that's a great example of what happened in Lemuria, okay? Where the people would get caught up in their love energy spaces, overwhelming love energy spaces, and times and sentimentalism, things that they can't let go of in their hearts. And this is why Taurus is the second house in astrology, right? Because we do astrology here too, but we do God astrology, right? All right, so Taurus is the second house, the things that weigh heaviest on your heart. And what is Taurus? Taurus is about sentimentality. It's Venus. Okay, so incredible wisdom comes in with this, again, to back up everything that we're doing and teaching here, as for the best understanding for all of us. Does anybody have any questions with any of this? I know, Ray, do you have any questions? Bodhi? See, I'm going to get your name right for the rest of the day. Yeah! Anyways, how about you, Sophia? You have any questions?
No, I know.
Okay. How about everybody here so far? Nope.
Not specifically with this, no.
Okay, Ray just came in. She's going to join us now. Hi, Ray. Hi. Okay, let me just see here.
Wendy Hall does say that she feels what you're saying 100%.
Oh, I know, Wendy. That's totally fucking you. I know it, girl. You're me, though. My subconscious chart, guess what it is? It's fucking Cancer Leo. I'm like, oh my God, kill me. You know what I mean? Because I too am that guy. I pine for times when my dad was alive and those wonderful moments we had together, and I wish that I could have those moments back. And there are times where I just carry that energy. I'm getting upset about it now. See, it's like more stuff to clear, right? Because we want to be in a healthy space of those spaces. Because all because we can do that, and we recognize that, doesn't mean that we're in the healthy space of it. Does everybody understand that? And we want to have the healthiest space of this always from love. And thanks God for this, for us, from love. Okay, so thanks, Wendy. Thanks for coming too, girl. Okay, let me just see here, because I have other things that for Greg Stones that are coming in as well. We talked about Lumaria, we're talking about the rainbow quartz crystal, Lumarian crystal, quartz crystal. We're talking about amethyst, another stone I feel that is more indicative of Atlantis, connects us to Atlantis and Atlantean thinking, because intellect is not, and intelligence is not bad things in its healthiest space. So this stone will also help you with that. It will also help to protect you and bring you back to, like with the Lumarian quartz crystal, it'll bring you back to those lifetimes, those energies that come from that time, those gifts and tools as well as the amethyst stuff will also bring this to your table and connects you, funny stuff, to Atlantis. Really neat shit. Really, really neat stuff. And water energy. Okay, water energy. What is water energy? It's Cancer. It is in the traditional astrology. It's Cancer. It is Scorpio, and it is Pisces. Those are your 3 water signs. Okay, and so it will connect you with those energies and that energy in you and your soul, and the energy in the collective, and whatever you need it for. Okay, that said, too, we have let me just see here, because I'm sure there's more stuff here. I know that you asked about some other stones that we talked about. We got all of those. Anything else? Did we say any other stones? We talked about the black tourmaline as being a really great healing stone, as well as the snowflake black tourmaline. That's really good for your stomach, interesting enough. And it's funny because I keep seeing a sphere, and your stomach has to do with Cancer, which is the moon, the things that you can no longer stomach. Okay, your subconscious soul is Cancerian energy. So the things we hold on to, right? And Cancer, the things we hold on to of the past. Cancer is about the past, and Cancer is about your subconscious soul. It is the doorway into all of your lifetimes. It is your master metaphysical sign and water energy in the astrology and in you that brings you the gifts of medium work and multidimensional stuff. Okay, so this is a powerful energy across the board. All right, and it's funny because I see a sphere, and the sphere of the moon is a circle. Right? And the moon in Tarot also goes with astrology, and it is what, Sophia? Your subconscious soul, right? Yeah. Sophia told me that. Pretty cool, right? How it works in astrology. She's teaching me a lot more about traditional astrology versus the way I use my tools with astrology and all my gifts in terms of energy. So what does this do? We help each other, and we bring more gifts to the table. Just like whether I learn from Buddhist energy, or I learn from Catholicism, or I learn just from love, or whatever modality spiritually I choose, there's gifts and tools in everything, and I can take all these tools based in love, because love is everything that is God. Everything, you can call it God, you can call it love, you can call it whatever you feel to name it as. And I have people who call it darkness, and you know how that is. I don't have them, I see them. They are not my people, clearly. Just to clarify, all right? However, those are, you can call it whatever you like, as long as you understand that we're dealing with love, that we're addressing this as love, and that's where you want to be. Now, when I talk about they're not my people, what that means is those are the energies of darkness. That's what that means. So it doesn't mean that I shun people or anything like that. It means that people who come to me and they say, your God isn't my God, and I look at them and I'm like, what are you talking about, right? And, my God is love. My God isn't your God, and we talked about this, I think, last week, when this is what sometimes people will say to me, and that's okay. You do you over there, not in my space, and not to an unwellness to me. You do you over there. And from love, it's one thing if somebody came in here and said they want to change their ways or their darkness or their shit, which is what we do. We specialize in that because we just work with God or love for anything and everything we do. And psychology of the soul is all wrapped up in this shit. Okay, meaning darkness is within ourselves, right? So when people say, oh, you just have to balance your darkness and choose to be the light, yes, you absolutely make a conscious choice of who you want to be. However, you have the ability to clear all darknesses in you and anything that comes up, such as the Cancerian energy, where we love too hard and too much and can't fucking let go of it, right? It's like, oh my God, it's 20 years. And for the longest time, I during this time, it's like, I still, somewhere in me, pine for that moment that I could be with my ex that was so beautiful and so amazing and so incredible because I loved him so much. But I know he's not that guy. But yet, my soul, the jackass that it is, thinks that holds on to this energy. And to what service does that do me? It doesn't. So ask to release it from love, right? And put the best way to be from love in the purest form in this reality, any reality, and all that is in our souls, and who we are, be, say, do, and create, and all that it is in place of this. And thank you, love, for this for all of us. For everybody here, if they so choose, from love. And thank you, God, for that, for us. Okay, so this said, we talked about all of this, and we answered Greg Halupa's questions. I don't think there's more to it. Is there any, did I say any stones that I'm missing and that I didn't elaborate on? If I did, please let me know. Okay, guys? And I will talk more about them. In the meantime, do we have other questions?
Well, Jackie has a question that's associated with the stone. She's asking about citrine. She says, what about citrine?
Oh, citrine is a beautiful stone. It's a like a yellowy stone. It almost has like a neon to it. And that also, citrine would be great for him as well, and for you too, and for all of us. Citrine is an abundance stone. It will bring you abundance, okay? So it is a beautiful energy. And when we talk about abundance, we're talking about abundance in all ways, but it is also a master protection stone. Really cool shit. So this really will protect you from, because if you think about it, why is that? Why would it do that? Because it's like the planet Jupiter, right? If it has the energy of abundance, it brings that everywhere in your life, right? So you can have good health, you can have good healing, depending on the space of God you are in, you could have rough times. But usually Jupiter is a benefic, right? But if you're in a toxic space, well, you could get into a cycle of all these toxic things happening to you, and Jupiter will only enhance that. Now, it's mostly it can happen, but it's mostly rare. It's mostly rare. Why? Because Jupiter is a benefic across the board in astrology. But as you know, with all that is God, there's exceptions to every rule. The higher you vibrate, the more in love you are, the more in your heart you are, the more you work with love. I don't, like I said, I don't care what you call it as long as you understand that it's love. Because people say to me, well, I don't call it God, I call it this, or I call it that, or that's, I have a different belief. I call it universe, I call it stars. Whatever you feel, as long as you understand that it's God. But if you have an aversion to calling it God, you have to ask yourself, why? Why is that? Or an aversion to calling it anything, if you have an aversion, right? Like, to me, it doesn't matter, but people come to me and they're like, why do you have to call it God? Or like this is religious. And I'm like, no, it's not. I'm guided by higher knowing with my soul's mission to call it this, because the people who need me the fucking most are those that call it God. That higher knowing, that energy of love. If you think about it. Do you see? Yeah. Crazy shit, right? Yeah. So, and this is what they said to me years and years ago. So this is part of the reason why I do it. Plus lifetimes of this energy in me, and lifetimes within these spaces of believing in higher power, being of God. All right. So it doesn't mean that I don't agree, or that you can't call it to anything else. I'm not judging anybody. This is my space of love. This is what I do, what I teach, and what I'm guided to by higher knowing. Okay, so just to share with everybody, it doesn't mean that I'm better than anybody. Same thing with religious stuff, and you may be called to different spiritualities, right? Whether it's Tibetan, whether it's Chinese, whether it's Buddhism, whether it's Judaism, whatever it is that is your spiritual destiny. Native Americans have their own culture in their own way. Every culture does, and it's all about bringing us together from love, and there's no wrong. This is the origin of my soul and my nature, and this is why I bring this learning, this wisdom, to this reality, to the table in this life. And that's the story. Nothing bad about it, but I get people who attack me about it, and I'm like, well, that's not what's really going on here. The issue is that if you have a problem with me calling it God, because I call it God, I call it universe, I call it angels, I call it love, but ultimately it's love. It doesn't matter what I call it, right? Ultimately it is love. But if you have a problem with it, it's your fucking problem. It's your shit to hash out. It's your stuff to work on. Do you see? Because I'm not in a toxic space of it. I'm not forcing you to do it. I'm not being unwell to you in whatever it is that you're doing in any way, shape, or form. It's about what you resonate with, your journey, your mission from love. And really, when we come from love and we are in our hearts, we can be copacetic with everybody and everything. And there is no issues. There isn't. Because when you're in a space of love, like I get people who attack me on my Facebook page and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? And I don't even answer them. If your comment is negative or toxic in any way, shape, or form, you'll find that I won't answer it. And don't think for a second that it's not on purpose. It is. It is. Why? Because I'm guided by higher knowing. I'm not going to put my energy into this right now, because this takes my time. I love me, and if you're shooting shit at me that's toxic, or you're saying something that isn't true, or it's of darkness, and you're not authentically asking for help, and you're hitting me with it in some kind of way, shape, or form that's unwell or dark, my soul is going to shut it down. That's what self-love does, and it won't answer your question, right? And this is true in multiple different ways. People come on my page and they spew all this intellectual shit. I couldn't give a shit about that and those beliefs, right? You can say whatever you want to say, but why are you saying that on my page? Why are you directing this to me? And what kind of energy is in every single word that you say? Because you better be aware that I know what that energy is, because this is what I do. And it's not to be mean, it's not to threaten people, it's to tell you the truth about my posts on my page. Why are you posting what you're posting, what your intent is, and what you're really fucking doing in your psychological soul, and what is going on. Because people nail people and they go after people on Facebook, and so much of that is, and on the internet. Why? Because they're not accountable for their actions. They don't have to be accountable, because in the moment, if you are talking to me, would you really say that? I'm not so sure you would. I'm not so sure you would. All right? However, this is about space of God. This is about being in love. This is being in love, meaning coming from love, being in a space of love, not coming from toxic spaces. Because you will, and mark my words, from love. And if I do say something toxic, I'm going to clear it out. I'm going to delete it. I'm going to clear it. I'm going to heal it in me. And I'm going to ask God to be free of it. And I will take accountability, responsibility for it from love. Because we're all human beings, right? And I was going to say, you'll never see me do that. Well, if I do, it's because it's on my learning journey, and I'm going to work on that shit. And usually it's not in the way that people think. And more often than not, with the space of God I am in, I'm like we were talking about earlier. I'm hardest on myself, as all of us are in our self-love spaces, because this is the condition of human nature and our souls in earth world reality. It's about self-love. It's about healing ourselves. Okay? And when our hearts are in the best spaces, we don't attack people. That's not how love works. We don't attack them in any way, shape, or form. I don't have to get on somebody else's page and spew all this high-end intellectual stuff or wisdom from my God space, and I could do it every 5 seconds if I wanted to, but it's not about an ego space. It's not about me coming after you. I couldn't give a shit. I don't want to waste my time because I love me and my life. I don't want to waste my time having an intellectual debate with you. And the only time I will do that, right? And it wouldn't even be a time wasted, is guided by higher knowing, because I'm guided to, or because you are trying to do toxic shit to me in some way, shape, or form. And just like a lion, as we always say, a lion comes out swinging. You're not going to take his property. You're not going to take his meal. You're not going to do that, because that's not how love works naturally in all that is nature. Those little birds, as we say, will go after that cat, that snake, and they'll peck the living shit out of him. Why? Because you're not going to get his nest, his babies, his family, his life, because he fucking loves himself, right? And that's why they do it, from love. They love themselves, and they love their life, and they came here to be that. They came here to live that. They came here to experience it, just like us. The self-love space is not about letting other people walk all over you. The spiritual journey, people say to me all the time, and they're like, oh, when you stand up to people, or you say things to people, and you're out of alignment with love, and they'll say to me a lot of times, or if somebody attacks me and I say something back to them and they don't like what I said, hey, if somebody's coming at you with a fuck you energy, you might be surprised. Fuck you may come out of my mouth, but that, and then people say, well, you shouldn't do that, because that's not about being spiritual. We should always come from love and always be warm and receptive and never talk like that. But that's not the truth. The truth is, the lion doesn't lay down and die in nature because you want his nest and his birds and you're hungry. It doesn't happen that way, right? The same is true with your self-love space. And this is why we do this work, because when we teach people and we work on our souls and we do this work and we get it out there to the world, we change the consciousness of the world. One person, one group, all energies at a time, right? Or all together. But we change the energy of what's happening out here from love. And then all that darkness, all these rules, all this crap, you won't fucking stand for it. And you won't put up with it. You'll be like, fuck that. And mark my words, it's coming. It's coming. Because the most powerful power of all is love. All right? And so this is the story of what's going on here, all right, as well as multiple different things we've covered in this time. Okay, and I'm just thinking, is there anything else that we need to say in reference to this, or does anybody have any questions with all that we're talking about right now? Anybody? No? Okay, and I know I probably should get to more questions. Okay, God, bring me back to where we are in the spaces. If there's anything else I should say and come out with in reference to this, teaching about love, teaching about God, and teaching about self-love spaces, because when I love myself, I don't allow people to talk like shit to me. And a lot of times I will either ban them on my Facebook page, because my page is my page. That's like a home space for me through AI. So think of your page as your art, your space. And if somebody comes on there and dishonors you or somebody else, you have, by all means, from love, the ability to say, no, this is not acceptable. And you can either call them out on the side, right, which is the more healthiest, best way to do it. But sometimes you'll find that it's not possible because it's gone to a certain space. But you'll always be guided by love if you talk and work with love in your heart, and you always know what to do, when to do, how to do, what not to do. You see? And that's how it always works for all of us. So, and just like I say, if you want to be toxic, you want to be fucking unwell, you want to be a demon, you want to be darkness, go do it over there. But the second you bring your shit to my table, it's on. And it is on from love. In other words, more often than not, I'm not going to play the demon game and tell you to fuck yourself or fuck you. What's going to happen is, right, I'm going to say, okay, love, speak through me now, please. Love, handle this now, please. And what I say to you is going to bring you to your knees far more powerfully than any fuck you could ever do it. Yeah. And that's how it works. Because when you're high in space of God, or you work with love, whatever space of God you are in, when you work with love, you ask love to speak through you, you ask love to handle it, you do your spiritual work, you do your best to always be in your heart. It can't not happen that way. Because this is the truth. It doesn't matter what religion you are, right? It just matters about love, because everything will change to this religion at some point on your journey. What religion is that? The religion of authentic, pure love, the highest vibration of it. Okay, and that's all the journey for all of us. Okay, so that said, what other questions we got since we finished that up?
We have Jessie May.
Mm-hmm.
She is asking.
Yeah, now, thank you so much. Hope to see you soon again. Thank you, Bodhi. Take care.
Good night.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so Jessie May had a question. Okay.
Yes, she is wondering if you have heard about the laws getting pushed right now to control the independent media and the government trying to shut it down.
Okay, control the independent media. And I don't really know, Jessie May, of laws. I hear bits and pieces through my people. Rachel's really great with her Gemini mad skills. She's always researching and looking at stuff. And then I have Jake from Florida who's always sending me stuff. I have Dulcie who sends me stuff. Anita. So I have a whole ton of people, I could go off naming them, that send me stuff all the time. And please do, guys. I always tell you that we help each other by the wisdom that we get and what comes in. So this said, no, I'm not familiar with the exact laws, but there's no doubt in my mind that I'm sure that they are doing it. They are trying to shut down everything, this media, because the more they can get you to buy their narrative, and the toxic, of course, as you know, the more they feel they win. But the truth of God or love is it's way beyond that. It's way beyond that. They, in other words, the nature of God is there's ways around everything. There is a way around everything, and God is infinite. So while they see black, you go right. You see white. They go right, you go left. They go up, you go down. And God, working with love, being in your heart, trusting your intuition and your mad skills, your mad love energy skills, right? Tools, gifts from love, right? By trusting those things, you will always make the best choices, the best decisions in the universe. Love will bring you the way to do anything and everything, whatever it is that you choose to do. And in the moment, always. And our lives have been so crazy with all of this, but this is truth of love, truth of God. So I haven't technically seen them and know them all, but while they're doing this, they're infiltrating everything. I posted a whole bunch of shit on my Facebook page. I'm always trying to post stuff, always guided by God. Some of it's really funny shit, and I post it because it's funny, right? Because it really is, and there ain't nothing like humor to release stress and anxiety in these times. Humor and mad cardiovascular. Okay, like running, speed walking, that kind of thing. Any kind of exercise that is good, healthy cardiovascular is definitely mind cleansing. These are great tools in Earth World. Okay, so no, I have not, Jesse. If you want to share anything with everybody, please do. What is she saying, Ray?
She just said that she didn't have a specific question about it. She just loves to see what you have to say about things. She said she saw it the other day and it sparked curiosity.
Yeah, no, thank you, Jesse, and keep on coming and sharing, what you have questions about, because it helps us all across the board, and then it brings in more information from God or love, as you know. So thank you. So really, it's the same shit happening over and over, just like Elon Musk and what is it now? Twitter is X. Is that what it is?
X.
X, right?
Yeah.
It's X. Yeah. What the fuck? X, like X, like cross you out. Like X, I'm still kind of contemplating what the fuck that means really with universe. So I'm gonna have to get into those spaces. All right. So X, to me, it's X marks the spot, X you out. So what's going on there? What are all the energies of the letter X? X Files. Yeah, and why you think that's funny? That has everything to do with aliens, does it not?
Yeah.
And look at these times, right? Because Elon Musk is a fucking alien. But he's not. It's not in the way that you think, right? He's alien. He's from another planet. We're all from other planets, other galaxies, other spaces, dimensions in time. Or you could say all that is God or love, and so is Elon Musk, right? And there's people, energies, Palladians, Lyrians, Hadarians, Lumarians, Atlanteans, right? There's all different kinds of people of the light, and from different universes or galaxies, planets, okay? And this is the battle of dark and light here on Earth that has gone on for lifetimes, okay? And it's just, another, it's the fight for really humanity and the planet Earth really is what this here is. And so Elon Musk is part of those demons, if you didn't notice with his lovely Halloween costume last year. And then if you're going to the gala, you're all wrapped up in that shit. Did you see me at the gala? Did you? Yeah. Anyways, so we're having great.
Sparkle boots.
In my sparkle boots. Yeah, my astrology boots at the gala, right? All right. So on a serious note, moving away from the gala, but yeah. So Elon Musk, make no mistake about it, he's a higher hierarchy in the darkness, right? So you have reptilian people, and we've talked about this, right? And then there's other factions of darkness. Sometimes they call it whether it's and it's all different names. You could call it satanic in the hierarchies of hell, or the levels of hell, right? But then you can say there's generals in hell and demons in hell, just like there's angels in heaven and all that is God, because the hierarchy of darkness mirrors the hierarchy of light. But then you have all these different energies, from different galaxies, different planets that are alien, but it's not, again, in the way that we think in this fucking reality, okay? So it is real. This stuff is real. But again, we've talked about these things before. Okay, with the alien stuff. And so Elon Musk, he's pretty high up there, because you don't get to be, let's say, in those spaces if you're not. I can tell you, based on the demons that we have come in here, whether they're necromancers, traditional demons, dark witches, in covens or not in covens, or just fucking around with the energy. There's all different kinds of dark energy, whether they're the sirens, as we've talked about. Sirens, what is a siren? It's a dark mermaid, like a mermaid witch, right? But the lower elevations of hell are just super, in these characters, are super narcissistic, but they're still doing the mission to overcome you with their darkness, right? But these energies of demons and all of this type of stuff in alignment with darkness, they're narcissistic, they're dark, they don't have the cognizance that, let's say, somebody like Elon Musk has at a higher level of demonic shit, right? Or demonic hierarchy, you could say, right? So it's crazy, but you will understand that when you see the actions that these energies do, whether it's a demon that comes on my Facebook page, or I go to somebody's house to get rid of something, or it just comes in here, you can see it in their energy, but they don't have a cognizance that, let's say, higher energies of darkness would have, like if you liken it to Earthworld, like generals and things like that in the dark darkness, and there's all kinds of lovely creatures in the depths of hell. You know who's a really good guy, speaking of this, that talks about hell and the characters of hell, is Pluto Bean. If you guys want to look him up, he's on YouTube, and I actually like him, and I like his readings. He's theatrical, but he's also he's straight up, and I like what he has to say, and I posted some of his stuff. And so he does, I think, a lot of tarot readings, and incorporates incredible wisdom for everybody about these times. But also he incorporates, he has I think decks of dark cards, where you can understand and learn all about these demons, these energies, and the darkness. Because the more that you have in your arsenal, it's not about trying to be like them or be in that space. It is about the learning and the knowing of the understanding of what's really going on, and who multidimensionally, right, on all different levels, okay, and understanding these energies, the energies of darkness and the energy of light. And why are we talking about this? Because I ask God to understand them and know and be a master at all that is God, that is love. So with this includes the darkness, because the darkness is part of love. And if you read the Satanic Bible, you'll see how it goes right in alignment with everything that I teach, but it's just twisted 360 or 180 rather, I think it is, right? 180. So it's twisted 180 to their own narcissistic, toxic, dark beliefs. But in the lower levels of hell and satanic and dark energies, they don't have the cognizance, all right, that the higher levels do, right? Like somebody like Elon Musk. Who else would we say, that we can think of? Bill Gates, a perfect example. All the people in Davos, New World Order, all of that shit. They're all different levels of shit, of darkness. That's right. Who's that Amani guy? Is it Amani, or what is the guy's name? Harari. Excuse my French. It's Harari. Look him up. He's got a lovely book. That's sarcastic, because his book is about the toxic takeover of AI and how people are fucking stupid, and the new world is going to be out AI, and AI is going to take over the world, right? And every time I have a fucking issue, which is 20 times a day with my fucking cell phone, I'm reminded by God that that's not true. How great is that in my reality, right? But, this is the deal. It's psychological manipulation. It's mad psychological tools. They take all those tools of manipulation and darkness, and they use them in the formula of God, morphed into their own dark ways, and this is how they try to take over everything, and this is what they're doing here on this planet. Okay, so just remember that those lower energies don't have the cognizance that people of the light at all do. Okay, so you can even be a lower vibration, and whatever vibration you are at, if your heart is in the right space, you are super protected, and you have all the power over these energies, right? When you get narcissistic and toxic people, it's because they're psychologically broken in their souls from lifetimes, and it is their own darkness, their own tormenting from self-love less than spaces. Okay, and that's the whole spiritual journey, to dump your shit. That's why we're on this planet. Let's get rid of our darkness, i.e. the darkness also is out here, right? What we are is what we attract, and therefore we got into these realities to bang the shit out as well. We come into different realities to not only save the planet, so to speak, save the human race, and I call it saving, at this time that's the best word, because really that's what we're doing. We're stopping this dark matrix. We're stopping the world from being enslaved. We're stopping all those things, and this is the mission. So it's about our mission in that way, and being superheroes of the universe, and having all of our gifts of high-end consciousness to do this work. And everybody who is in their hearts, at whatever level of God consciousness you are at, you've come to do this work, and we all have a mission, and we all work together. Okay, so this is all what we're doing, but make no mistake about it, you're here to save yourselves. Me too. All right, you're here to get rid of those demons that have fucking tormented you for fucking ever. And this is for all of us. So these dark manipulative tactics, Jessie May, this is all part of it. Just like the train wreck that happened in Ohio, the poisoning of the water, the fires in Hawaii, all the crazy shit and all the stories. And you have to really feel in your heart what is truth. And when you don't know, or you're confused about it, ask love, clear your blocks, ask love that you're happy no matter what happens, to know that God's on His truth and let go of it. Do you see? And release it, and then the energy will cycle back to you, and you will know the answer always. Always, always, always. Because we all are part of God and love, and we all are super connected, and this is how it truly works, right? Okay, so that said, know that when they're doing one thing, they're doing another, just like they talked about. I think I put it on it was on a TikTok or something, about how our country is no longer a sovereign, is it sovereign nation? I think it is, but we are not. We are now part of the New World Order. And there was a little segment on TikTok that this one girl was speaking about how Justin, what is his name? Trudeau, and the president of Mexico had to sign some kind of pact, and it all has to do with we are no longer a nation. So if you know, and this is important shit, because they're doing this behind the scenes, just like the gun laws they're trying to change and all these other things, and nobody knows what's going on. But here's the deal. In the end, when it comes to the consciousness that all of us realize that our freedoms are no longer in the way that we expected, how long do you think you're going to obey for? Yeah, I don't think it's going to be for long. Okay, because when this shit hits the fan and the people realize it in their realities, whoa, and it's coming. It's coming. So they can say whatever laws are all this shit on paper, just like taxes. How long is it going to be millions of dollars that you give to Ukraine or pay out or pay here or license this and do this? How much longer of this is going to happen? Yeah. So know this. And this is all dark shit. All of it. Your social security number. Everything is matrix. Dark matrix. All put up to enslave all the people. What's that other guy who wrote the book of that island that we talked about?
Oh, not a Rockefeller, was he?
No. I know Robin knows about this. You know, I don't know if Robin's ever on the show. However, she knows about this. It's
money, right?
Yeah, it's all about the money. We talked about it before, so we'll have to get that information for you. Jesus, take the wheel and bring that in, please, if anybody remembers it. But there's a whole book on it, and it's an island off the coast of Georgia. Jekyll Island, yeah. There's a whole book on that, and it talks about how they took over this government and the IRS and all of this, and all the whole story behind all of this shit. Right? Look into it, because the answers are always out there. Whether in a 2-minute TikTok where somebody tells you the crazy shit going on here, but there's a lot of farces and there's a lot of crap, like the energy system thing going on for today, you know, where there's all this dark energy and conspiracy theories and all this stuff. But the truth is, there is truth in everything. If it didn't happen now and it wasn't in their test, or it couldn't happen in their testing, it's coming. Make no mistake about it. It is coming, right? Because everything in your reality tells you the truth of what is and what is coming for you. Right? Just like when we had a client here, excuse me, named Gretchen. God bless her. You know, or she came on our show and she talked about her dog. I don't know what his name was. I want to say Zeus, but I don't think that was his name. But she talked about her dog, and he passed away from the stuff on the lawn, the poisons on the lawn. He died because he was poisoned. Okay, and so this happened how many months ago on our show? I want to say like last February. Here I am. And one of our people, Greg, brought it up, right? And we find out that his dog has been poisoned by the toxics in the lawn too. You know, meaning the grass seed, the sprays, the chemicals that they're using right outside on your house, on your properties where you work, on the properties of your neighbor. Be aware of what the fuck you're doing and walking your animal, because these poisons are killing our pets. Make no mistake about it. Just like vaccinosis, too many shots over and over again, the medicines that they're giving our dogs, okay, including antiparasitics, and all of this has to do with what I'm talking about now, right? And what I'm talking about is going to happen that I'm going to talk about in our story for me today. All of this has everything to do with these messages. This happened with Greg, this happened with Gretchen, and now my dog Love has been poisoned yet again from the toxins. And so this is universe telling me this shit is coming for you. This shit is coming for you. This shit is coming for you. Hindsight is always 20/20. So be aware of what's going on in your reality, because the shit is coming to you. Do you understand that? And not just the shit, good things too, right? Your neighbor may win the lottery, and then you find out 6 months later somebody else won the lottery, and then you may win the lottery, or you may get an inheritance. Do you see? That's how it works. Okay, so that said, I'm going to move on from this. I think we covered everything with Jessie May. You think, you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Jessie May. All right. Sophia, do you have any questions?
Sure. I just actually came up with thought of this now.
Okay.
Sorry, I did a past life reading, a while ago with those past life cards that we had.
Yeah?
And I asked what, my favorite past lifetime of all was. And I think I got that it was, I don't remember much about it other than I was a man in Atlantis. I was wondering what you could tell me about that.
Wow. That's fun. Oh, man. I don't know if you're going to want to talk about what I'm going to say. You ready for this?
Yeah.
All right. So Sophia did a reading with these past life tarot cards that we have, or that she has, that are really neat tools, again, of the divine to help and assist us, right? It's all about being in your heart. And she said she asked what her favorite past life was, and it was a past life where she was a man in Atlantis, and instantly what came in was your father. I know. I knew you were going to want to punch me out. I knew it. I fucking knew you were going to want to punch me out. Why? Because you had a lifetime like his. A very decorated, very good-looking, very super intelligent. All the ladies loved you. Okay? That's not a bad space to be in if you're in a healthy space of it. Right? But you see, those are the things in a toxic space that you see in your father that you're having issues with, that are reflected in yourself through this journey in you. Clear this out, heal this in you. This changes everything in you with this, as well as the relationship with your father. Do you see? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know, right? Because it can be a beautiful space when you're highly decorated, or you're a master at your career, or whatever it is that you do, and the ladies love you, right? And you're super smart, and you're super good looking. I mean, these are love, and you're Leo, or you're charming, or you're charismatic, right? Mm-hmm. But there's also a toxic side of that. So this is what comes in. So let's ask God. Let's heal this now. Are you ready for that? Me too. All right, so it's not a bad thing, but that came in, and it has everything to do with what's going on in your reality. It's going to be your birthday, you got a gift, your dad's been around, he's been talking to you, the card, the this, the that, right? Mm-hmm. And here it is, right? It's showing you that yet again in this reality now, and that's why that lifetime came up, because your soul called it in to what? To heal you. To heal you. Because that's not a bad space, in the healthiest space of it, from love. And thanks God for that for us, right? From love, right? In the healthiest space. But let's take all of this energy. Let's connect to it. Let us release it, heal it, clear it, feel it, release it, be free of it emotionally and in all that it is. All this energy that is all of this in this whole past life. And let us put in place of this the best way to be from love in the purest form, in this reality, any reality, and all that is. Thank you, God, for these gifts for Sophia and me and all of us in our souls and in all we are, be, say, do, and create, and all that it is, if we so desire it, from love in the purest form, in this reality, any reality, and all that is. Thank you, God, for these gifts now, please, for all of us. In our souls and all we are, be, say, do, and create in the best way for us, and all or something better. And thank you, God, for that for us. So that what a birthday blessing that really is. Mm-hmm. Then you can release all this. And it's healing, right? Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah.
Thank you.
I was like, as soon as you said that, that's what popped in, and I'm like, oh no! I'm like, you're gonna not really want to associate with this because of all the stuff, But this is all part of that healing. You asked to heal it, and it is so. Ask and you shall receive. Your soul is genius. And it's been genius for lifetimes. Yeah. You're super welcome. Super welcome. Okay, that said, you good?
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. Okay, what about Jennifer? Does Jennifer have any questions for tonight?
Oh my God.
What is that?
Jennifer has things.
Jennifer's having a moment.
Jennifer's talking in third person.
Jennifer has things that she wants to show me. So what do you want to know? So this is a form of psychometry, just so you know. Jennifer brought things to the table here tonight that she wants me to talk about. Look at you, girl. See that? I intuitively knew you had shit. All right, so what about these things?
And that new purse. I love that new purse.
Did you get this from Grace?
Yes. Yeah. I just love it. I'm apeshit about it.
All right, so we have two items here. A new purse, if you guys can see it. It really has like 1960s, 1970s energy. It's like really wicked cool. You can see it. I don't know if you guys can see it pretty well. I know we got to do something with the lighting here, so I apologize. There's papers in there. Did you put papers in it?
Oh yeah, those are my receipts.
All right, so she's got her receipts in there, but this is her little bag, and it zips and it folds over, so it kind of could be a clutch. right? And it kind of could be, I don't know, whatever it wants to be, but in this bag, and it has a zipper. It's really kind of unique. Yeah, it has a 60s and 70s energy from it. Possibly the 50s as well. This comes in, it has grace energy all over it as well. But when we talk about things, we tap into different things in us from lifetimes, and we tap into the energy of the item, right, through psychometry. So there's multiple ways to do this through different types of psychometry, depending on what you're looking for. Every item has energy, just like when you go to different places and you can feel an experience like Gettysburg, right? You feel the energy in Gettysburg and you're like, holy shit. Many of us can see things that have happened there, see past battlefields, go multi-dimensional, talk to these souls. I mean, there's tons of gifts, right? Well, this is a variation of that same thing, where you pick up an item and you talk about these things, and you read the energy. So this is psychometry. We've done this before on the show. So Jennifer has a couple questions in reference to this. So what would you like to know about this?
I just love that bag. It makes me wild.
Yeah, this bag, it's funny because it's no accident, because this bag has everything to do with Grace, and Grace was wildly independent. Remember Grace? Yeah, Grace is an elderly woman at the time that we knew her, older, but man, she was something else. She really was something else. She had pictures and she was in incredible shape, like in her bikini in her 70s, that was the space that she was in at that time before she passed away. She passed away recently, and this is a bag that Jennifer has that was given to her basically from Grace. Jennifer asked me about this, but Grace carries with her a huge independence. She was always independent, right? The other thing about Grace is Grace was crazy. Grace was crazy. We all knew that. She was the woman who used to call on the phone, "You're a fat fuck, Lynn. You should lose your job because of it." And I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? And she would spend 45 minutes trying to talk to me and tell me how nasty I was, right? And all this derogatory stuff, which doesn't bother me at all, right? Because I'm like, I know that she's sick, right? Just like Joe Biden. When people get up there and like, Joe Biden's a sucky president. Let's be honest here. Joe Biden is sick. There's no sense in saying he's a sucky president. He's sick. He's super unwell. He's been taken over by the darkness. And if you can't see that he is sick, then you got to reevaluate the space of God that you're standing in. Because this is the truth. When people are mentally ill, right? But the other thing is, too, by their actions, what they do. So when somebody goes all crazy on me, with their mental illness, I'm in the business of mental illness. I'm in the business of soul psychology, God healing, right? This is what I do, right? Health, psychology, everything physical is metaphysical. 6 houses of 6 and 12 in astrology. My soul came in here to do this work. So, that said, hold on a second. In these spaces, again, when people are sick, right, a higher vibration of love doesn't make fun of them. Doesn't do that. And you can see this reflected in the vibration of humanity when they say, what is it they're saying? Let Joe Biden, that chant they have.
Fuck Joe Biden.
Is it fuck Joe?
Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. That really is part of the darkness. That's really part of unhealthiness, right? You know that he's sick. Do you want to employ that into those spaces? But that's how the people are bringing out their rage, their anger towards Joe Biden, who is the president, or supposedly the president, who represents the world, the free world of America, supposedly, and he is the president. But in those spaces, the people are letting their toxic energy go back at him because they don't like what's happening. Okay. However, right, in a derogatory space of sending darkness out to people when they are sick, you really have to reevaluate what the fuck you're doing, right? Making fun of segments that are about Joe Biden. I turn that shit off when it comes across my YouTube and shit. I don't want to see that. The only time I watch it when there's faux pas with Joe Biden where he's messed up and he doesn't talk truly in the healthiest, best way and he makes no sense, right? When there is stuff like that going on, all right, what happens with me is I just shut it off because I don't need to see that. And the only time I do need to see it is if I want to evaluate what space he's in right now in his mental health and what's going on with him and his energy. I'm not going to sit there and say, oh yeah, this guy is fucked up and this guy's a shitty president, because it's not even about that. It's about a man that is sick, right, that is taken over by darkness, right, and he is basically a proxy for the president. And this is the God's honest truth. It's all about their darkness, their energy, and he's one of them. And that's really what it's about. But he's sick, right? In the space of humanity, in his human space that he is in, he is sick. Okay, and of course he would be, because you got to be sick to want to be, in the spaces that you're in. But the whole deal is, making fun of this stuff, right, or being toxic with it, is not the space of love. It's not in the space of love. A better way to look at it is, this guy is sick, right? He's part of the darkness. How do we change this? What can I do to change this? Do I want to employ this? Or am I going to look at this video to see what's really going on? Or am I going to comment on some kind of nasty fucking shit about it, right? To get my energy out, my anger out, my unwellness is out on what's really going on here. So with grace, bringing us backwards to grace, or back to grace, the same thing, there's this energy, and when she attacks me and says all this nasty shit, I know that she's not well, and I know that Joe Biden's not well, but he's part of the darkness that is bringing everything to the table here to enslave humanity with what is going on with the Matrix and everything. This is truth of God. This is truth of love. So this is also why they're going to be lashing out at him, right, in the ways that they they are trying to fight that energy back, because they don't know what to do, and they're scared, and they don't like what's happening, right? So it's part of humanity's reactory unwell spaces when they do shit like that. So it's just a heads up for everybody here to think about what is going on when people are mentally ill, or when people are unwell, because you know it. You know it. You feel it in your heart. Just like when a toxic pedophile walks down the street and you're like, where are my kids? And you just get a bad feeling, right? You know that they're sick. So you protect yourself, you be wise, and you pick and choose your demons and what or you pick and choose your ways to deal with stuff, however way that you want to deal with it that is best from love, okay? So when somebody's sick, it's the same kind of energy. So that's a really good example to see that kind of energy matching. Do you want to get involved in that energy? What do? No. Okay? So a lot of times in this earth world vibration of humanity, people are toxic in these spaces, and this is all part of this to help you and all of us reevaluate what space of God we're in when we're dealing with other people who are unwell. Again, we shouldn't let people take advantage of us, and I understand the ability of nature to fight back when they don't like what's going on or they don't know what to do, but all because you can and you do, or you're reactory, doesn't mean it is the wisest and the best thing to do or in the highest form of love. So remember that whatever you post, whatever you write, whatever you comment, so because the more pure you are of heart with good things, the more universe brings it back to you. Okay? The more toxic we get, right? Just like all the Donald Trump shit right now that's going on. Major toxic crap, right? And wow. All I can say is wow. These people have never left these spaces. And you're like, holy shit, right? But there's so much darkness intertwined in all of that, as well as there is everything that is here on this planet. Okay? FYI. So we're going to talk about these things in the psychometry again. Grace is very powerful. Grace also has had very toxic mental illness, as we know, right? Is there anything you want to know in particular about this person? I'm going to ask God.
Not really. I just love it so much. And it's funny because years ago I wanted to make that total style purse.
Yeah, and that's funny because there's something, there comes in with this something about, and what keeps coming in is, hold on, I dropped this, is the 1950s. The 1950s. Okay, so the 1950s comes in, you have some kind of affiliation with the 1950s. When I get in that space, oh, this is crazy. You were a lot like Grace. You were very independent. I feel like you were in your early 20s. right? In the 1950s, I feel like you had a purse like this, similar to this, and this brings you back to those energies and liking that space. Just like when you talked about having money the other day, you were like, oh, it's about independence. It's about, oh my God, I got this whole bunch of money, and this is about independence for you. And, you know, you didn't realize it at the time, and then we talked about it, and then it was. So is this. So there is something going on in the patterns of your soul that has to do with independence. And this lifetime, and this purse brings you back to this lifetime for you and your soul. Okay? What's fucking crazy about it is I feel like you were so involved in being so independent and doing your own thing. And this is going to sound like stupid crazy. You know how like you have heels on, you have a dress, and you have an outfit, and you're not paying attention, and you run across the street.
And I died.
And you died. Except, yeah, because you're so wrapped up in your independence, and your beautiful life, and your beautiful world. What?
It wasn't present.
That's right.
Like I am in this lifetime.
Just like in this lifetime, you're not present. That's right. But here's what some funny, crazy stuff is, right? It wasn't a car. It was a train.
No.
You got hit by a train.
Oh
They're
my
showing
God.
me the train. Yeah. Yeah. Is that the craziest shit? Yeah. But, so the reason you like this is not because you died and got hit by a train. That's not it. Right? You like this because it has that energy of those times for you. And ultimately, you want to be your own person, your own soul, independent, and you're working your way there through doing your spiritual stuff, your journey. I keep dropping this pendulum, interesting, right? And it's funny because both of these things are like the same color. So they both have an independent energy about them for you, personally. This will be for others too, depending on their journey and so many other energetic factors, right? But yeah, so this little pendulum here is the same color, if you guys can see it, as this purse. I don't know if you can see, but it is. So you see the purse? See the purse? Okay. All right. So she's asking me about these two things. So that's what's coming in with the purse. It's funny because I got a vision of you, and you're young, and you're full of life. You very much like you are now. You're just beautiful. You're just beautiful, and you're like, and you know that's true, right? And she goes, I just know, right? And then you run in front of the train, and I'm like, yeah, the end. At least you weren't decapitated. Yeah, yeah. I just feel like you were killed instantly, like, but it wasn't. It feels more like a head injury than a big mess, if that helps you any. Okay, so I'm going to throw this purse to you. You ready? Just like they do in Twilight with the pizza.
Right.
Anyone know what I'm talking about? The slice of pizza in Twilight, that what was that, the second Twilight?
I don't know, but that's just funny.
I think it's the second one where Jacob becomes the wolf guy, and she falls in love with him. Anyways, they're having pizza in the shed, and he takes the pizza, and she takes the pizza and throws it across the shed to him. I swear to God, I think it's the pizza. Anyways, I'm just like, what? It's just funny. I don't know. Let me know if any of you guys see that. Maybe it was a different thing that he threw, but we were laughing about that because I think it was the pizza, a slice of pizza. Who throws a slice of pizza across the room? Only in the movies, right? Oh my God, it was so funny though. But anyways, okay, seriously. Now the next thing Jennifer has is a pendant here, a pendulum, right?
Sharona.
Yeah, she calls it. Its name is Sharona.
It's totally Sharona.
Yeah, and the name of this pendant is Sharona. It's Jennifer, not pendant, pendulum. Interesting. I keep saying pendant, and I'm going to ask why that is. Okay, it's the same color as the purse. It's tiger's eye. It's very pretty. It's a tiger's eye pendulum. And she's asking me about this pendulum. All right, God, what's the God's honest truth here? With the pendulum, I feel like this is a variation again of that same independent energy. And pendulums are known for being of the metaphysical and witches, and just like all these tools, there's all kinds of weirdo stuff that's associated with it. There are people could say dark energy, but the truth be told, this feels like a pendulum that you had that brings me back to you for witchcraft lifetimes, and we were just talking about this, but where you were super independent in being that energy. Do you know what I mean? And it's funny because I want to say that you're a healer, but I don't feel that you were. I don't feel that that was the energy that you had in this lifetime with your witch gifts that you did, or that you had. I see what are pagans? Is that pagans or the white uniforms? From back in the day, I see all these white energies, like Salem witch burnings and things like that. But I see a lot of pagan energy. But also, hold on a second, because I'm getting information on this. This pendulum help you decipher people's journeys and people's destinies. So it's not unlike that's wild, because if you think about it, it's an eye. It's the way you see, the tiger's eye going into the eye, the eye of the storm. Do you see what I'm saying? A way to see things. So it has to do with seeing, okay? Greg Halupa, another great gift for you, tiger's eye. I would get tiger's eye. I would look into that to help you see differently. All right, see metaphysically. Okay, there was also, with his energy, so there's a world famous astrologer that predicted the times. What is his name? Predicted the future. Nostradamus. Yes. This has a Nostradamus energy for you. That's what you did. You would predict outcomes for kings and castles and wars and things like that. Not unlike Rasputin. That's another story for another day. Whole bunch of past life stuff. Some of you may already know it. So you can look up Rasputin and find out, like, in other words, not that you were dark like Rasputin, but you did very incredible future telling work like Nostradamus, and this made you very, very independent. Not the pendulum, but this was who you were, but this was a tool that you used in the day, and this helps you with those gifts, seeing into the future. So you can actually tap into this now to do those same things. Tap into that purse to do those same things, very independent. Like kings and castles, and people would seek you out. What is going to happen with my family, with my inheritance, with my destiny, with my life, and at highest levels of hierarchies, kingdoms and things like that. And it didn't happen because you were a young soul. It happened because you've acquired these gifts from lifetimes. And this is part of that energy that's really opening up in you, that I feel that all of a sudden you come through, like Rachel and me were talking the other day. She has you have these brilliant moments of like, I can't believe you saw that kind of thing, or, you know what I mean? You really do. And you're like, yeah, and I'm like, so I feel this is going to assist you and with all the stuff. So you're really this is really about you stepping into your power. Cool. This is that journey, and that's why you pulled out these tools. So everybody got that? Pretty cool shit, right? Yeah. So you can always bring things, and we can talk about things as well with your questions as well. All right, so I need to know what time it is.
9:41.
Sophia, would you get me a chocolate milk?
Yeah, thank you.
Sophia's going to get me a drink.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Would it be
Rachel.
okay if we clear one thing with the Sharona?
Yeah, well, why don't we release all of those lifetimes? You see what I'm saying? All of that. And in place of this, put the best way to be from love. Because the bottom line is, you got in these spaces where you weren't coherent, and stupid shit happened to you. Like walking in front of a train. You know what I mean? When you're not
I've known
consciously
that's how
aware.
I'm gonna die too in this life.
Oh, let's clear that out.
Not specifically that, but I know that I felt like I was gonna die jacking around.
Yeah, because you're a jackass. Yeah. Right? So you're an independent jackass, but what we want to do is get rid of that or free ourselves. You like, that guy's an independent jackass. That's my sister, right? But we all have some of that energy. So let's just clear it all out. But you're right. By not being cognizant in our reality, my shaman way back when, years ago, Sarah, I think it was her first name. I don't think it is. I know it is. But she used to say that to me all the time. Lynn, you have to be present. You have to be present, for the longest fucking time. And it's hard, too, because in this reality, we have so many incredible gifts, and we're not present. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, this said, let me just see what else comes in here. Clear this out. I'm going to do some salts because I'm getting a little dizziness from my neck and stuff. Do you know where the salts are? Oh, I got them. Got my salts, my trusty salts. Okay. this said, so let's clear out all the stuff in you that is this jackass energy, because stepping into your independence and all of your power, that energy doesn't behoove you. Do you see what I'm saying?
I know it's gonna be so weird though. I'm excited. Thank you.
You're so funny. All right, all energy that is all of this for all of us, let us release it. Let us release it emotionally in all that it is. Let us feel it, heal it, process it, release it, and be free of it now, please. And in place of this, put the best way to be from love in the purest form, in this reality, any reality, and all that is. And thank you, God, for that, for us.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Sophia.
Yes.
Totally needed this. Thank you. We've been like on the go all day, and like it's nuts.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
It's so exciting.
Okay. Oh, I don't know if that cup's going to be in the way there, but
Nope, looks good.
I don't think so. All right, so for the dizziness in my neck, God, what do I get? All right, for right now, I get a 2, 3, and 5, so that's what I'm going to be taking right now with my cell salts. So just bear with me, people. We've talked about cell salts in the past. This is stuff that I'm taking and using for me right now with the natural health. We've talked about this. You can always contact me if you have any questions. Right now I'm having issues with my neck, and it's been going on for a while. I really should have done this a while ago, but I've been running around trying to get ready for the show and been at the vet like we talked about. So I'm going to take my salts. Universe or God or love is guiding me to the best ones for me with what I got going on. All right, so that said, we're taking a 2, a 3, and a 5, okay? And 6, 5. And these all go with the houses of astrology, as we've talked about before. And they're great healing tools. So you can look them up online again, anytime. And you can also contact me about it. And if you want to work with me for your best health too, you can do that. Okay? See, they come in this box. We've talked about this 20 million times before. Biochemic cell salts, right? And then on the side tells you all the tissue remedies, what they are, and the houses that they go with. Really cool stuff. Say. All right. There you go. If you don't have these in your arsenal of healing tools, it behooves you to get them. Okay, that said, and to learn about them, right? Because what good is medicine and what good is anything if we have no wisdom on how to do it or how to use it? You know what I mean? Okay, this all said, Jennifer, we're done with Jennifer's question. I think you're good. Did we complete the clearing?
I'm not sure.
All right, and just in case, let's just ask God to clear it all out, put the best way to be in love with all of this from love in the purest form, so we're free of being a jackass in future lifetimes, and anything that has to do with that energy, and put the best way to be from love in place of this, in this reality, any reality, and all that is for all of us. Thank you, God, for these gifts in our souls, and all we are, we say, do, and create, and all that it is, and the best way for us, and all some better. And thank you, God, for that for us. What time we at?
9:46.
Oh, we're already past my time, aren't we? Did we really go an hour and a half already?
Yeah.
That must be it. I must be getting tired, right? Because we're later than normal. All right. Thanks, God, for clearing this out. Okay, so we didn't get to do our story time tonight, but we will definitely talk about it. We did have lots of interesting material based on everybody's questions and a lot of fun. Thank you guys for coming. We will talk about what is happening with the poisonings with my dog next week. Okay, and we're going to talk about also the psychological energies that everything physical is metaphysical, including mental illness, 6 and 12, medical intuitive, right? 6 and 12, the 6th house in astrology and the 12th house. This all said, we're gonna talk about those stories next week. I apologize that we didn't get to them. It was a lot of fun, and whatever is meant to be from love is how it will be. So we'll see you next Wednesday at our regular time at 7:15. Thank you all for your patience with coming and us being late. And I apologize again for not getting to the stories, but I'm going to ask Universe that we do, and they're amazing and incredible and with lots of wisdom. And it's an awesome show for next week, and always as well from love in the purest form, in this reality, any reality, and all that is. And thank you, God, for that for us. 7:15 next Wednesday night, live talk forum. See you guys then, and I love yous. Have a great night. Thanks.